What is going on, everybody? Depraved Slasher here, and we are back with another music reaction. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are...
HellaDepraved.
Yes, we are. And this is your pick, baby.
Oh, okay. So this is actually one of my favorite rock bands, and I found them a couple of years ago. Before the Storm, I think, is my favorite track of theirs, actually. But I'm not taking us that far back. This is about a little over a year old. It's from 2019.
Okay.
But they are releasing a new album in just a couple of weeks. Okay. So this song may or may not have been one of the songs that I asked you to react to in a live stream.
It was.
About a year ago.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
It had a red line on it, but I don't remember it.
Right, which is exactly why I'm bringing you back to it, because I'm pretty sure you have not heard it since. Mm-mm. And their album's coming up. Mm. And I wanted to introduce not only you, but the Shadows to this band if you didn't know them before, and I don't know what you're doing if you didn't know them, so that when their album comes out, y'all know what I'm doing. Mm. And there's none of this, why didn't you show me them before?
I'll still say it just to annoy you. Okay.
All right. Well, that's fair enough. So, this is one of my favorites off of the album that dropped. I think it was like August of 19.
Okay.
So, we're here. They've got that almost... Oh, gosh. Their sound isn't the same as Falling in Reverse, but the kind of style that they take, where it's definitely more of a almost hip-hop written verse in terms of the rhyme scheme and the fact that it's more spoken, and then it is pure rock for the choruses, sometimes screams, but it's amazing.
Okay.
So, I'm ready to get into it.
All right.
I'm ready for the album to drop.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to react to this as if you guys have already seen it. If you've not seen it, please click the link in the description below. Hop on over, watch the video, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment, let Silent Theory know we sent you. And then come on back. And we say that because we are a breakdown channel. We're going to pause to talk about the bars, to talk about lyrics, to talk about
the message,
how it sounds,
music video,
the message, the
it's
video.
A commentary channel, people.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pauses. There's going to be a lot of pauses.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to slash up and break it down. This is Silent Theory with Sticks and Stones. Let's get it.
Sticks and stones make shards of bone, but words cut through the surface. That's nothing compared to the acts of despair that we see go without purpose. Cut their limbs, they'll crawl with grins to find out if it's worth it. Mother, help us please, just a gentle breeze, we really don't deserve it.
I really like that line about... what did he say? Hold on.
Crawl with grins to find out if it's worth it. Mother, help us please, grins to without purpose. Nothing compared to the acts of despair
that one.
The acts of despair we see.
The acts of despair, it's a double. Because it's acts as in acting desperately.
Right.
But acts of despair as in a weapon, acts. Because then he talks about it cuts deep right
well,
afterwards.
This is the acts of despair that we see go without purpose. But the cuts deep, I think, came right before it. They do have doubles, but it's just the meaning. And if you're actually paying attention to the lyrics in this, they're actually pretty sad.
Right.
It's all about we're in desperate times type mentality, because we're so busy ignoring the problems, I guess, is the best way. So the whole, like, Mother Dear, or Mother Help Us, is kind of more of a, I think Mother Nature, Mother Earth, that form of mother, but, you know, just a gentle breeze to help us along. But we don't deserve it as a species. Look at the atrocities that we're committing, and we just kind of blink and look the other way.
Right. I don't know how many times I've said I feel like humanity should end.
Right. Well, I mean...
It would suck, but...
for us personally, sure, but we're not doing the earth any good. We're not doing the world, like the universe, any good, honestly.
No.
But yeah, it's without purpose. Like, those acts of despair aren't being done with a good enough drive behind them to count for anything. They're just they're waste. They're waste of life.
That we see go without purpose. Cut their limbs, they'll crawl with grins to find out if it's worth it. Mother, help us please, just a gentle breeze, we really don't deserve it. Shoulders bearing too much weight, so knees begin to buckle. Replace need for fame, so now I'm ashamed you're what they'll find among the rubble. Kings and queens go without thrones, hey, are you getting nervous? Mother, help us please, breaking arms and knees just to keep up with the circus. Just to keep up with the... It's getting hard to sleep without that fire burning deep. Why would you take that away? So put us back in our place, spit in our face, it makes the hurt better. Don't ever take that away.
You have thoughts?
I have, again, it's following the same scheme. Like, we're replacing our true needs in life, like what we actually need to survive with fame.
Right.
And a lot of people will do a lot of stuff for fame, including disregarding others, their own family, their friends, backstabbing, gossip, lies. Money comes into
OnlyFans.
play. Yeah, money comes into play, and it's every person for themselves, basically. I just, we've got our kings and queens on these high thrones, but again, all of this is what you're going to find in the rubble when humanity ends, or when that particular monarchy ends, that fame ends. And instead of respecting everything, we're breaking our backs, our hands and knees, or what, just to keep up with the circus, just to have what other people have, just to keep up with the rat race. Nobody's truly happy because we're just trying to compete with each other instead of prop each other up.
Right.
So yeah, I really like how deep the lyrics go, but then I also really like how it sounds on top of it. They managed to put out a deep track that still sounds amazing. And we'll come back to the chorus the second time it hits.
Isn't it so easy just to see the greed? Believe me, it's enough to make you sick. Well, that's a gratifying feeling, but the ceiling isn't going anywhere. It's not depleting. We need meaning, so deceiving. If the world is what we're needing, bleeding underneath for healing, breathing out the skin is peeling, breathing hard enough as it is without that toxic gas you're feeding, and conceding to this need that we have taken like a beating. I'm disgusted with this lack of trust, and now we're all retreating.
So that would be the second verse. It's gonna go back into the chorus now.
Right.
Thoughts on that? I mean, I like that it gets more towards a growl scream. Like, he's getting very aggravated and frustrated with his message.
Right. It's one of those things where he's starting to show some aggression, and I think it's because he hates the fact he even has to have this message.
I feel like he feels like he's either been saying it to dead space, like no one's paying attention to him, and he's had this conversation like multiple times,
Right.
or he himself is so sickened with having to write these lyrics in the first place. Um, I mean, I really like the it's hard enough to breathe without the toxic gas you're spewing basically. So the poison is again it's a double. It's all the backstabbing and negative words and lies that go around, but it's also we are literally causing humongous amounts of air pollution.
Right.
So it's already hard enough to breathe. It's already hard enough to keep our heads above the water in this world, in life, that all of this other stuff just adds to the toxicity, to the problem, as it were. Yeah, so.
It's getting hard to sleep without that fire burning deep. Why would you take that away? So put us back in our place, spit in our face, it makes the hurt better. Don't ever take that away.
Hold on.
Our face, it makes you take that away. It's getting hard to sleep without that fire burning deep. Why would you take that away?
Is he referencing, like, you know how it's really hard to sleep when your mind starts running late at night?
I think so. I think
Like, he's passionate about trying to change
right.
people's thoughts and ideas on stuff. And I think that's what the fire burning deep is. And
That spark, yeah.
it makes it hard to sleep because he's constantly trying to figure out ways to hopefully reach out, change people's minds about how they're doing things to make the
Right.
world a better place.
I think it's a mix of things because he says it's getting hard to sleep without that fire burning deep, and why would you take it away? And I feel like it's like that spark in all of us that gives us that passion, that
Right.
drive for something. And so you know, having to struggle so hard just to make it in this rat race, the circus as he calls it, because of all of these extra things that we have placed in our, well, society has placed in our way. Like you take that passion away and it's just, yeah, again, your mind is racing. It's hard to sleep. Like we also don't necessarily have the time to sleep if we're trying to keep up with the circus because
Right.
it's all about the grind. If you're not grinding, you're not making money. Money is what everyone wants. And we're all just struggling to make it another day. So I think it's a mix of all the different things.
Right.
So put us back in our place, spit in our face, it makes the hurt better. Don't ever take that away. So it's getting hard to sleep without that fire burning deep. Why would you take that away? So put us back in our place, spit in our face, it makes the hurt better. Don't ever take that away from me.
I like that song.
Yeah. So the second part of it is, you know, so put us back in our place, spit in our face, it makes the hurt better. And I see that, at least my interpretation of it, I see a lot where someone in power or policy, whatever, gets valid complaints from the people they employ, from the people that live there, whatever, their constituency, and they laugh at them, or they tighten down policy even further, or I don't know, they release a new policy that exacerbates the problem that was complained about in the first place.
Right.
The epitome of spitting in someone's face. And that is just the way that things have started working. Like, we care so little about, and I'm not talking about like complaints just to make complaints, but like valid concerns that are brought peacefully and presented, and then of course we're going to end up with all of this violence and revolts and unhappiness, and it's a perpetual cycle. So, I mean, that at least is my interpretation of the whole spit in our face, it makes the hurt better. Because when does it? It's like rubbing lemon in a cut. Never does.
Right. I think another thing it could be taken for as well, because he was talking about it's hard to sleep without the spark. So think of it as somebody that, or I was thinking of it as somebody that like, that they tend to speak publicly about things. Somebody that goes online,
right,
to try and spread some good news, positivity, whatever. And people commenting back negatively.
right,
And that negativity further helps drive him to spread more positivity.
it might be. I mean, being as they are a band,
Right,
with a platform, then, you know, I mean,
so he's
that is the spark, the fuel to his fire.
right. So when people are like, "Oh, you guys suck,"
Right.
you're not really any good. Nobody's listening to you. In the
Find
same
a day job, which would be the put us back in our place. Yeah.
right, which because I and what made me think of that too is like, how often do we hear Eminem saying, "The hate other people give him is what fuels his fire."
Right. Right.
So.
Yeah, that's actually a good analogy. I think that pretty much everything these guys write has a slew of meanings behind it, or at
Right.
least different inspirations that they're drawing from. Because I haven't seen or heard, I guess, a simple verse out of them yet.
Right.
Like, it hasn't not had some, at least, deep sounding meaning without like exploring it per se. Like, something that sounds deeply meaningful to me, but it's not just like a base level verse where you're like, oh, they're singing about the weather, you know. So I can't wait to see what they've done in a year and a half.
Right, it'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
What does come out in, what do you say, a couple months,
Couple weeks,
couple weeks.
pretty sure
It's coming
like
quickly.
yeah, it's like the 9th, 10th, somewhere around there of this
Okay.
month. Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like the video, slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, comment down below what did you think of Silent Theory, Sticks and Stones. Also comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see reacted to. Check the description below for all the things.
Push our buttons, come join us on our other social media platforms, mostly Twitter if you want a quicker response.
With that being said, we love you guys. Thank you all for watching. Can't wait to see you depraved people later.